Come on in, come on in, come on in. Man, we have a powerful word today. Try to get this camera adjusted. Excuse me. What's up? What's up? Come on in, family. Come on in. Man, it's going to be a word for today. You know what I mean? It's going to be a word for today. Man, come on in, come on in. Man, family. Before I even get started, man, on behalf of my mother-in-law, man, I bless each and every one of you for catching this live stream. For those of you that catch this on a replay, man, may God bless you as well. Man, family, let me go ahead and get started. And for those of you that don't know, just announced it a little while ago. What's up with you, Raymond? Man, that um December, man, if you were in need of a coaching session or you want a coaching session, you're feeling suicidal, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling up under the funk, you know what I mean? You're just down in the blues or whatever the case may be. Man, family, shoot me an email at ElijahAmmi. That's ElijahAmmi at gmail.com. And man, we'll go ahead and get you set up for an appointment, a coaching session free of charge, free of charge. You know what I mean? Man, I understand that this time of the year is hard for a lot of people. People are going through a lot of pain. People are going through a lot of turmoil right now. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on in the world right now. And man, we need to be connected with each other. And if you feel like you need some help, you feel like, man, you're catching the blues, you feel like you're going through it, man, just reach out to me. Again, my email is ElijahAmmi at gmail.com. That's ElijahAmmi at gmail.com. Man, talking about good and evil. Good and evil. What's up with you, family? I can't really, the camera's so far away, I can't even really read all the names. So, what's up with you, Loretta? Man, we're talking about good and evil. Good and evil. You know, it's a trip because I had the privilege of sitting there a little earlier and I was watching this movie on Netflix, The School of Good and Evil. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. Man, I saw it on Netflix a while back, but it looked kind of cheesy and corny to me, and so I didn't really watch it. But something told me that I had to watch it today, and so before I came live, I was just watching that movie, and man, and it just tricked me out because there's so many messages that I got from that movie, The School of Good and Evil. It's on Netflix. As I was sitting there watching the movie, God was showing me, man, you know what? That's our life. That's our life. And so many of us, if you've gone through a hard time, if you've gone through the school, what's up with you, Libra Love? If you've gone through the school of hard knocks, if you grew up in a lifestyle, if you grew up in a family that was toxic as hell, you grew up in circumstances and situations that just seemed like it was unfair. Like, man, what did you do to deserve the hell that you gone through? What did you do to deserve the family that you brought up in? What did you do to deserve the abuse that you endured, the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, the sexual abuse? You know what I mean? What did you do as a little kid to deserve all of this hell? And if you're not careful, we'll take on that victim mentality. If you're not careful, you'll become the man, it's so negative and toxic. You don't even realize how negative and toxic you are. And if you're not careful, you'll start blaming God. As I grew up, man, I went through so much as a little kid. And so I was blaming God. Man, why me? Why did I have to go through all this? Going back to the story of the movie I just talked about, The School of Good and Evil. And this story, these two young ladies, or one young lady, man, her mom dies at an early age. She's just a little kid. Her mom dies at an early age. And then her friend, this young lady, befriends her. And she becomes the only person that really cares about this young lady. And they become best of friends. Stay with me, I'm going strong. So these two young people, this girl, her friend, becomes her best friend. And so the black girl grow her hair is, frizzy and just wild, but it's cool, you know what I mean? Because depicts who she is. In the movie, her family's a witch, and this young lady, this Caucasian young lady, she wants to be this princess. She has the long blonde hair, and that's all she fantasizes about, is being this princess. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. And so she has this wish that, man, she could go somewhere and just be who she came here to be. She wants to be this princess, because that's the life that she envisioned for herself. That's the life that she's supposed to have, not this boring ass traumatic life that she's dealing with, growing up in this toxic ass family, growing up in this slow ass community where everybody's dogging them out, everybody's laughing at them and teasing them and picking on them. She didn't come here for that bullshit. To her, she came here to be a princess. And so surely somewhere along the line, God fucked up. Surely somewhere along the line, her family got fucked up. She got put in the wrong family. She was put in the wrong city, the wrong town, the wrong country, the wrong state. You know what I mean? And so many of us, we can relate to that. Man, I didn't come here to be everybody's fucking doormat. I didn't come here to be everybody's stepping stool, to be abused and dogged out and mistreated by everybody in my family. I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here to be sexually abused. I didn't come here to be emotionally abused and be beat down and told I was stupid and I was a nuisance and I was a pain in the ass and they couldn't wait to get rid of me. That's the shit that I heard, but I didn't come here for that. And so in my mind, man, God fucked up. You know what I mean? Because he got me in the wrong family. I'm not supposed to be here. This is not where I belong. And so in the story, School of Good and Evil, man, there's this huge crow monster like thing, comes in, sweeps these two young ladies up, carries them off to this imaginary land. And so there's these two schools, and the white girl's like, man, excuse, I don't know their names, so Aggie or something, I don't remember their names. And so excuse me for calling them by the color of their skin. But the Caucasian, like, she's supposed to go to the school of good, and you know, and the black girl's supposed to go to the school of bad, because of evil, because she's a witch. Her family's naturally witches. Her mom's a witch, and she does little witch stuff, right? And so she's supposed to go to this bad school, this evil school, and the white girl's supposed to go to the good school, the princess school. But in the story, they got it reversed. The white girl that wanted to go to the princess school, they had the long blonde hair and blue eyes and all the other, man, they dropped her ass off at the evil school. They dropped the black girl off at the good school. And neither one of them felt like they fit in. Neither one of them felt like they belonged where they was at. Everybody's looking at them stank like, what the fuck you doing? Why are you here? Look at how you fucking dressed. Look at your fucking hair. You don't even belong here. What do? And so they going in on the young ladies. And they didn't feel like they belonged. And there's so many of us, we don't feel like we belong. And if we're not careful, we'll allow people that's in our lives to mistreat us and to dog us out. We'll allow these people's opinion of who we are. We'll allow all these people who ain't doing shit, ain't about nothing in life anyways. They don't even know who the hell they are. They don't even understand why the hell they're here. They ain't even dealt with their issues and their trauma and their drama, and yet we'll allow all of their opinions to become our opinion of who we are. We'll let them dictate who we are. And so these young ladies are trying to figure out their way. Why am I here? Man, you guys made a mistake. And they go to the head guy. Man, you messed up. Man, we in the wrong school. You got to switch us. We don't belong here. And that's the cry of so many of us. Man, God, you fucked up. You know what I mean? I love you, but deuces, but you fucked up. I don't belong in this family. I don't belong with these people. I don't belong in this race. I don't belong in this time, in this era. Why am I here? All these people mistreating me. All these people teasing me. All these people mocking me. I didn't do shit to be here. I didn't do shit to deserve this. That's what God had to show me. And again, my life was rough. My life was rough from the gate. From the gate, at the age of, before I was 2, my father was already rejecting me. I wasn't good enough for my daddy, and I was just born. But my daddy had already rejected me. At the age of 2, he had murdered my mom right in front of me. So I'm fucked up from the gate. I'm already feeling like I don't belong. Because why would my daddy reject me? Why would my daddy mistreat me? And so I'm trying to figure this crap out, man. I'm trying to figure out, man, what do I do? How am I supposed to figure that? Why am I here? And it's not enough that my daddy rejected me, because now the family that I'm put with, his younger sister, by the words of the court, my sisters now were placed with my aunt. And they don't really want us. And it was a trip because I didn't find out till I was 18 years old and I was done and gone. I was moving out the house because they couldn't tell me shit then. I was still in high school, but I was packing my shit up and moving. Because my mentality, man, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? I'm not dealing with y'all bullshit no more. Because they had this mentality, as long as you're here in this household, you abide by these rules. And then the rules of the house is we're going to go to church on the Sabbath. And we're going to do whoop, and da-da-da-da. And it's like, I'm not doing that bullshit. I did that shit when I was young because I had to. Because I had to listen to you. But I'm grown now. I'm 18 years old. Fuck y'all. Fuck the rules y'all came in on. I'm not dealing with this bullshit. I'm packing my shit. I'm getting the fuck on. Still 18. Still in high school. But I was tripping. Why did I have to go through that? Why is this my school of hard knocks? Talking about good and evil. And because I grew up the way that I grew up, because my family was constantly telling me that I had the devil in me, because my family is constantly telling me that I was damned to hell and I had a one-way ticket, first class to hell, because my family is constantly telling me, man, that I had the devil in me, and that God didn't want me, my family didn't want, nobody is going to want to be with me. And man, I heard all this stuff the whole time I was a kid. And so I didn't belong. I knew I didn't belong in this school of hard knocks. I knew I didn't belong in this family. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And the trip is, many of us relate to that. So many of us relate to that. Damn, why am I in this school? And then when I say school, why am I in this planet at this particular time? How come I couldn't be born at a different time, in a different country, in another part of the world? How come I had to be here and this had to be my raggedy, sorry ass daddy? How come this person over here who is a millionaire, who is a king or prince or whatever, how come they couldn't be my daddy? How come my daddy had to be a drunk? How come my daddy had to be abusive? How come my daddy had to have anger issues? How come my daddy don't care about me? And so I'm mad at the world because I'm not understanding, why am I in this school? Because to me, in my heart, I knew I was a good guy. I knew that I was a good guy from the gate. But for whatever reason, God, the world, got me fucked up in this raggedy, ratchet ass fucking family. In this evil family. And they threw me in the school of evil. And I'm looking around on TV and I'm looking at all these people grew up in these nice houses with big, parents that were successful baseball players and football players and boxers and entertainers and all this other. And that wasn't my lifestyle. That wasn't where I came from. And I'm trying to figure out, what the fuck did I do to deserve being born in this poor, broken, fucked up family? And all these other people grew up, and these are their daddy. Their daddy's a doctor. Their daddy's the engineer. Their daddy's the astronaut. Their daddy's this and that. Their mama's da. And I'm sitting here, I ain't even got a mama because my mama's dead and gone. And my daddy's doing time in the fucking pen. And I'm playing church with these fucking fake ass Christians who's damning me to hell. They talk God, but they're some of the most hateful, judgmental people I've ever met. They're some of the most evil, mean people I had ever met in my life. Surely this couldn't be God. And if it couldn't be God, what the fuck did I do to deserve this punishment? Why was I being punished this way? And so what God had to show me later was, Elijah, you wasn't being punished. You wasn't being punished. You were being groomed. And that was a hard pill to swallow at first. And I'm talking about groomed for what? I'm not trying to be no raggedy ass, fake ass preacher. I'm not trying to be none of these motherfuckers who been hustling people for fucking money. Begging people for offering. Oh, we don't collect the $200. That's not enough. I'm passed the plate around again. And I grew up in church like that, where they passed the plate around 2 to 3 times because they didn't get enough offering. I didn't want shit to do with that. So I'm trying to figure out, why did God raise me like this? Why was I groomed in the school of evil? Everything around me was evil. Everything around me was toxic as fuck. My daddy was toxic. The church was toxic. Again, I was molested at church. I was molested in the house by a church member. It was the church that kept telling me I had the devil in me. It was the church that kept telling me I was stupid and dumb and damned to hell. But yet in my core, in my heart, in my soul, I knew I was a good guy. What was wrong with me? What was so wrong with me to where, man, I didn't even have a choice in this. I didn't pick this lot. I didn't pick this fucking school. I didn't pick this raggedy ass fucking family. And so what God had to show me, get some water real quick. What God had to show me was that it ain't about what you picked, Elijah. It's not about what you picked. See, if I gave you the option, you'd have picked something easy. If I gave you the option, you'd have picked something comfortable. If I gave you the option, you'd have grew up with your mama and your daddy, and you'd had a picket white fence and all this other bullshit. They would have been so loving and so nurturing to you. They would have been talking to you, man, you're so great and we love you and you could be anything you want to be and blah, blah, blah. Man, but that's not what I had in plan for you. That's not what I had in mind for you. You had to go through this school. You had to go through the hell that you went through. Because I was planning, I had some stuff there that you had to learn. I had some stuff there that you had to experience. See, you're looking at it all wrong, Elijah. You're looking at life all wrong. And if the truth be told, man, there's so many of us. We got life twisted. So many of us, we're looking at life and our experiences all wrong. We're looking at, man, why do I keep picking these toxic relationships? Why do I keep picking these deadbeat guys? Why do I keep picking these hoish women? Why do I keep picking these lazy motherfuckers? Why do I keep picking these people that are abusive to me? Why do I keep picking these people? And it's just a list after list after list after list of all my failures, all my setbacks. And what God has shown me, no, you're not a failure. You wasn't being set back. You was being groomed. You're looking at everything wrong. You're looking at everything through the wrong prism. You're looking at everything through the wrong perspective. You're looking at life through a victim mentality. You're looking at life through your hurt and your pain. You're looking at life through your suffering. And because you see life through your suffering and through your damage, and your trauma, all you can see is trauma. All you can see is pain. All you can see is suffering. You can't see the lessons. And because you can't see the lessons, you can't see the blessings. So I'm trying to figure it out, man, God, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to show me? How come I couldn't live like everybody else? How come I couldn't be loved and pampered and spoiled like everybody else? How come I had to grow up so damn rough, so damn fast? How come my life was so challenging and so difficult? How come I was pushed to the point of suicide? Why me? Why me? Do you hate me that bad? You're trying to break me, God? Do you hate me that bad, God, that you're trying to crush me? And as a little kid, that's what we think. Because that's what makes sense to us. That's only logical to us. God hates you. That's why you grew up in this family. God hates you. And that's why you're in this toxic family. And that's why you've been abused and rejected and abandoned and hurt and kicked to the curb the way you have and dogged the heck out because God hates you. That's why your family hates you. Because the truth be told, you ain't shit. You ain't never been shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. And that's how we feel. That's what we think. I'm talking about school's good and evil. And the trip is, as I got older, as I start putting in some work, dealing with my shit, being connected to God, asking God the hard questions, listening to the voice of God, and watching, looking at my life through God's eyes. Once I got connected to God and I was able to look back over my life, over my painful, traumatic life through the eyes of God, through the prism of love. Now I saw my life totally different. My life was totally different. Drastically, same toxic experiences, same painful trauma. But I saw it totally different. My father has still murdered my mom. I can't change that past. I can't change that experience. I was still sexually molested twice by religious people. I can't change that past or those circumstances. My family still didn't want to fuck with me, and they were still dogging me the hell out. I couldn't change those circumstances. I couldn't change those experiences. What God had shown me was, I don't want you to change those experiences. I don't want you blocking that shit out. I don't want you letting go of that shit. And so I'm tripping out because I just made a video a few days ago, man, letting go. Where we have to learn to let go. But stay with me. The letting go isn't letting go of our past. The letting go isn't letting go of our toxic ass fucking family. The letting go isn't any of that bullshit. The letting go is letting go of our opinion, of our entitlement belief into why we grew up the way we did, why we experienced the crap we did. It's a hard thing to do. Stay with me. And so what God had shown me is, Elijah, come here. Look at this. So all the shit you thought was destroying you, all the shit you thought was killing you, all the shit you thought that was pushing you to suicide, and I was teaching you how to hate yourself. And I was teaching you how to sabotage your future. You had to go through all of that stuff. And I'm like, why, God, why? I don't understand. That's not helping me. Why did I have to go through that? Why? And they said, Elijah, in order for you to learn how to love yourself, you had to know what wasn't love. So I'm saying it again. Elijah, in order for you to know that you loved yourself, in order for you to know how to love and value yourself, how to take care of yourself, you had to experience what wasn't love. You had to experience hate. You had to experience anger and bitterness and rage. I'm like, God, why? Why? How come how come I just couldn't come into the world like normal people and have my mama there loving me, have my mama there holding me and consoling me and rubbing my head and telling me everything's gonna be okay and telling me how much she loves me and telling me how much she values me and what to do? How come my daddy couldn't be there just telling me how much he loved me and he's proud of me and what to do? He said, and God had to tell me, Elijah, I brought you that way because I needed you to learn not to be dependent on what other people said about you. Elijah, you had to grow up that way. You thought it was school of evil. But stay with me. He said, Elijah, it was preparing you, showing you you were so full of love. So full of love. But I had to show you what wasn't love. I had to show you how not to be dependent on the opinions of others, regardless of who they are. See, now, Elijah, it don't matter to you what people say about you. Now, Elijah, because you grew up the way you did, you're not moved by the opinions of others. Because you grew up the way you did, Elijah, other people's opinions don't validate you and they don't invalidate you. You know who you are. Because you grew up the way you did, Elijah, you knew that you were hating yourself. And so you knew that, man, I gotta change this because this is not who I really am. This is not what I'm really about. I'm not about this anger. I'm not about this unforgiveness. I'm not about this hate. I'm not about this tearing down. I'm loving. And since I'm loving, man, I have to uplift. I have to build up. I have to encourage and challenge. I have to be willing to be that voice that challenges you and correct you, even risking you hating me. I'm going to say it again. Because I no longer care about the opinions of others in regards to me. Because I understand that no one has a heaven or hell to put me in. My self-esteem is not based on what other people think about me. My purpose ain't based on what other people feel about me. And so that gives me freedom. I'm liberated. I can say what God wants me to say. And not care who like it and who don't like it. Not care who's offended and who ain't offended. Because I've learned through the school of hard knocks that other people's opinions don't matter to me. Not when it comes to me and my purpose. And so when I'm sharing stuff and people don't want to hear it, man, that's their business, you know what I mean? But that's not going to stop me from saying what I got to say. Because I'm free. I'm not going to change the message and sugarcoat the message to feed your ego. To be liked by you, to be loved by you, to be praised by you, because I'm free. Because I know who I am. Because I value who I am. Because I know who I'm connected to. It's a trip. I love amber. And I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a amber crystal. Amber's really not a crystal, but it's in that family. It's a piece of amber. And this represents to me that I've been preserved. It's a reminder to me every time I feel it around my neck. And see, the trip is, man, my whole life, I felt like my life, my past was a burden, was a shackle around my neck, was a weight around my neck. It was keeping me from reaching my full potential. It was imprisoning me in my past. All of the abuse I endured. And so God told me, man, get you some amber. Learn the metaphysical properties of amber. Learn the spiritual meaning and symbology of amber. Amber. I'm like, okay, God, what does that got to do with me? What has amber got to do with me and my traumatic, fucked up life? And God had to show me, Elijah, you thought your life was traumatic. And it was traumatic. You thought it was fucked up. And it was fucked up. But the truth is, it could have been a whole lot worse. Elijah, it could have been worse. Elijah, you could have handled it totally different. Elijah, you felt like you were being broken and you were being crushed. And there's times you tried to commit suicide. And all those times you felt broken and rejected and abandoned and unwanted and unloved and hated by those closest to you. I was right there with you. I was right there with you. They couldn't see me. You couldn't see me. All those religious people didn't know that I was riding with you. All those religious people that was telling you you was damned to hell and you wasn't going to mount to shit and you was going to be an epic failure and a loser and just like your daddy. And with all those people that was speaking all that, they didn't see me right by your side. And Elijah, you can't get mad at them because they didn't see you or see me. Because Elijah, you didn't see me either. Elijah, you didn't know I was there either. Elijah, you thought I abandoned you. You thought I was punishing you. You thought I was cursing you. Nah, son. Nah. Elijah, I was protecting you. See, I told you in the Bible, I'm not going to put more on you than you can handle. And although you didn't think you could handle it, you handled that shit. Although you didn't think you could go through all that and survive on it, you handled that shit like a fucking pro. Although you thought it was going to kill you and it was going to crush you, man, look at you now. Look at you now. You don't look like you've gone through the shit you've gone through. You don't look like you've experienced the shit you've experienced. People look at you and they're like, damn, how the fuck did you survive all of that? Damn, how come you didn't lose your mind? Damn, how come you not locked up in the fucking prison system for anger, for murder, and for all that other bullshit? How come you not homeless and strung out on the fucking streets, doped up? How come you didn't lose your mind? And they're looking at you and they're hearing your testimony. They're saying, damn, you went through that shit. Damn, you lost all of that, and yet you're still so fucking loving, and yet you're still so fucking intelligent, and you're so giving, and so compassionate, and so nurturing. How the fuck did you do that? And so I look at this piece of amber, and I hold up this piece of amber, and I say, man, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the hand of God protecting me. It was the hand of God preserving me. It was the hand of God over you. I was talking to somebody, I was giving somebody a counseling session a little earlier, and I was telling them, I was like, man, I tried to commit suicide in 2016 in China. I was done. Now I sit back and I look at it and think about it, man, I'm able to laugh about this shit. I wasn't able to laugh about this shit then. You know how much of a failure you have to be to even fail at suicide? You know how much of a fucking loser you gotta be to not even be able to get suicide right? I can't get shit right. I couldn't even kill myself right. You know what I mean? And that's my thought. That's how I thought. It's like, fuck, I can't do shit right. I can't even get this fucking suicide done right. And Elijah, I didn't allow you to kill yourself. I kept my hand of protection over you. I preserved you. Why? Because you got it all twisted. You think you're in the school of evil. And you are. But you're love. And so I put you in this school of evil. I put you in this place of darkness. I put you in this toxic, crazy, fucked up family who's so fucking self-righteous, who's so fucking arrogant and narcissistic and judgmental. I put you in this school. I put you in this family. I put you in these situations. Why? So that you could grow through it. So that you could feel the pain. So that you could feel the suffering. Because that was going to be a driving force for you to let your light shine more. Because that was going to be the driving force for you to be more loving, for you to be more compassionate, for you to be more giving. The more hate, the more anger, the more pain and suffering you went through, the more loving you were going to become. The darker your fucking past was, the brighter your future was going to be. You just saw it different. You was looking at it wrong. And then I'm sharing that story with you. Why? Because so many of you have gone through messed up childhoods. So many of you have gone through messed up relationships. And it's messed you up. It's made you so untrusting. It's made you so bitter, so angry, so toxic, so hateful, so bitter. And what God was showing me, that's just part of the story. That's just part of your story. That's not all inclusive. That's not your whole life. You had to understand that epic pain. You had to understand those epic failures. Why? To keep you humble when you succeed. To keep you humble when I elevate you. To keep you humble when I use you to speak love and light and healing into the lives of others. So I had to take you through all of this bullshit to prepare you, to groom you for your purpose, so that you can learn to let your light shine, so you could be a beacon of hope, so you could tell people, man, I've been down that path of hate and rage and giving up and hopelessness and helplessness. But I had to get connected to God. I had to get connected to God in order to see my life for what it really was. And it wasn't that God had to take me out of that situation in order to change my life. It wasn't that God had to take me out of those circumstances to change my perspective. I had to stay in the dungeon. I had to stay in hell, if you want to call it that. Why? To let my light shine for those that are in hell, for those that are in the dungeons, for those that are in the caves and that are blind and can't see their way out. That's why I went through all that I went through. That's why you've gone through all that you've gone through. That's why you're going through all that you're going through. But don't get so arrogant that you stop growing. Don't get so arrogant and complacent that you just throw up your hands and, man, I've arrived. I've gotten out of that financial devastation and I'm good now. I got a job. I got a career. I got a man. I got a queen. I got and you forget about where you came from. You forget about all that you've gone through. You forget about reaching out and helping others and pulling others up out of their dungeon and pulling them up out of the fucking cave and up out of the fucking fire. See, don't get beside yourself. Don't start acting like you've arrived. Because when you do that, God's going to have to humble you some more. When you do that, God's going to have to break you down some more because you didn't learn the lesson. You missed that part of class. And see, for me, I'm 52 years, I'll be 53 in a couple months. Man, I learned the hard way because I was constantly ditching school. I was cutting school in junior high school. I didn't give a fuck. I'm smoking, drinking, doing all kind of stupid shit in junior high school. Wilding out for no reason. I had no hope. I had no plan. I didn't feel like I had a purpose. So I'm wilding the fuck out. I'm doing everything that I shouldn't do. But I had to learn. I had to grow. It's a trick. I tell so many people. So many people ask me, man, what was it that started changing your mind? What was it that started you on that path of changing how you saw your experiences? What was it that stopped you from being so bitter and angry at all the people that did you wrong? What stopped you from being ungrateful? What made you grateful? What made you loving and compassionate and giving and you grew up in the fucking hood and you had to be hard to survive? What changed your perspective? What made you the way that you are now? And I tell people right off the rip, man, I got a notebook. I got a notebook. What's a 91 press? I think that is, I can't see that far away, my bad. But I'm glad that you're here. What was it that changed your perspective about all the hell that you've gone through? What was it that changed your perspective about how crazy your daddy was? What was it about your perspective or that made you change your perspective about how toxic your family was and how fucked up the religious people were? What changed your perspective about those dudes that molested you? What was it that changed your mind? What was it that made you become a healer? What was it that made you want to become a life coach and a mentor and a role model? Man, I got a notebook. And I started writing, and I made it my gratitude journal. And I tell people this all the time. And the trip is, so many motherfuckers act like, oh, it's too complicated for that. A book and just writing down stuff in it every day like that. It ain't gonna work. It's like, how the fuck would you know if you've never done it? Don't allow your arrogance to get you fucked up in the game. I tell so many people, man, get you a journal and write in it every morning and every night before you go to bed. The first thing you do in the morning, grab that notebook and start writing in it, man, 5 things that I'm grateful for. If you only got a couple, man, I'm glad I seen another day. I'm glad I got a bed to sleep in. I'm glad that I'm not out dumpster diving right now. I'm glad that I have the activity of my limbs. I'm glad that I'm not in a hospital somewhere paralyzed. I'm glad that I'm not in prison somewhere. I'm glad that I'm not in a fucking psych ward somewhere. I'm glad that I'm not spun the fuck out somewhere. There's a whole lot of things we could be grateful for. There's a whole lot of things we can be grateful for. The reality, we're just so fucking toxic and ungrateful, we don't even realize it. And so, man, grab your notebook. 5 things in the morning. First thing you do before you get up out of the bed. Before you go to bed. As you're laying in bed, grab that notebook again. write down 5 to 7 things that you're grateful for that you experience throughout the day. Whatever it was, man, I'm glad that I had something to eat for breakfast. It may not be what I wanted, but I'm glad that I had something to eat. I'm glad that I was able to take a shower. I'm glad that I'm able to lay down in a bed. I'm glad that I didn't die today. I'm glad that I didn't get arrested for some bullshit I did a long fucking time ago. I'm glad that a stray bullet didn't hit me. I'm glad that I didn't get hurt today. I'm glad that I didn't get in a fucking wreck today. I'm glad that I didn't get a heart attack today. I'm glad that I didn't have a fucking stroke today. There's a whole lot of motherfuckers that had strokes that wasn't planning on having strokes. Whole lot of motherfuckers that had heart attacks that wasn't planning on having heart attacks. Whole lot of motherfuckers that had seizures and all these other things that fucked them up. They weren't planning on that experience that day. Whole lot of people, man, they were just driving to work, driving home from work and got in a wreck. So a whole lot we have to be grateful for. And so, talking about school of good and evil still. And so I tell people this all the time, man, grab you a notebook and start writing in it for a minimum of 30 days. A minimum of 30 days. The first thing you do in the morning, the last thing you do before you go to bed. And the truth is, you don't have to take my word. You don't have to, I'm just some bald-headed motherfucker from East San Jose in Cali. You know what I mean? I'm just a knucklehead. You know what I mean? I'm just some dude that wear a bunch of crystals, got a bunch of tattoos. What the fuck do I know? I don't have a doctorate degree in psychology. What the fuck do I know? And the trip is, that's how so many people look at me. Oh, he can't know. It's more complicated than that. And I got a master's degree, and I got a doctorate degree, and that, all this other bullshit. But I got peace of mind, and you fucking don't. I have joy, and you fucking don't. I've dealt with the great majority of my bullshit and my issues. I still got some shit I got to deal with. Every one of us do. And so what God showed me was, Elijah, you have to learn how to rewire your thinking. You have to learn how to rewrite the story. What I'm saying, rewrite the story. Elijah, you wrote the story of all the shit you've gone through. That's your experience. All of it. The good, the bad, the indifferent, that's all your experiences. But you have to write in this gratitude journal. And what I did, I didn't just do it for 30 days. I did it for 5 months. 5 months. 5 months. And what God showed me was, man, it changed the way I slept at night. It gave me peace when I lay down at night. Why? Because when you get on the place of gratitude, the frequency of gratitude, that's the highest fucking vibration. That and love is the highest vibration. Gratitude is the secret. Gratitude is our cheat code for life, for a happy life, for a fulfilled life. Gratitude. Gratitude. But we've been so fucking toxic, so fucking negative. All we know is to think pessimistic fucking thoughts. The worst is gonna happen. Or what if this happened? And this is gonna happen. And this might happen. And this. And you're so fucking negative. You don't even realize how negative you are. You don't even realize how toxic you are. Why don't you realize how toxic you are? Because you're comparing yourself to other people. And you think, man, I'm not as toxic as this person right here. And you're picking out some of the most toxic people you know. And you're comparing yourself to them. And you say, no, I'm not toxic. I'm humble and I'm loving and I'm and I'm so good. Because you're comparing yourself to the wrong people. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to nobody, but you're comparing yourself to the worst people. And it's giving you a false sense of security. It's making you think you're better than where you're at. It's making you think you're more spiritual than what you are. It's making you think you're more woke and more enlightened than what you really are. That's what God was showing me was gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. See, when you get connected and get on the frequency of gratitude, you start seeing life totally different. You start experiencing things that you hadn't experienced before. You see life through a whole new pair of glasses. Gratitude, man, I could look at my life, and again, my father hated me and rejected me and murdered my mom right in front of me. I was molested and just on and on. I could look at all of that stuff, family, right here, right now, and just like, man, God, thank you. I'm glad that I experienced all of that. And I could say that with an open heart. I could say that with a transparent heart. I could say that and be real. I'm so glad, so grateful that I experienced all of the brokenness, all of the rejection, all of the pain, all of the abuse. Because it showed me what I didn't want to be. It helped me see, man, I wanted more in life. It helped me understand that I didn't want to be like that. And if I can help other people not be like that, then so be it. If I could use my story, and so many of us, we hold on to our story. We won't let go of our past because, man, that gives us our entitlement mentality. That gives us that victim mentality. Of why we're so angry and why we think the way we think and why we feel the way we do and what do we do. But God had to show me, Elijah, no. You're missing it. You're missing it. You went through all that you went through because there are going to be people that go through that too. There's a lot of people that's gone through what you've gone through. There's a lot of people that's been molested. There's a lot of dudes that have been molested, but they don't talk about it. They haven't dealt with that pain and that trauma yet. There's a lot of dudes whose father hated him and dogged him the fuck out. And they don't deal with that pain. They don't know how to deal with that pain. There's a lot of dudes whose wives have left them and taken the kids. And so Elijah, you got to go through what you got to go through. Why? Not because it's punishing you. Not because you think that I'm punishing you. I'm preparing you. I'm preparing you. I'm grooming you. And so you got to change your perspective. And you change your perspective through a spirit and a nature of gratitude. Stop being angry and hurt and frustrated over all the shit you've gone through and learn gratitude. Man, I'm grateful for these experiences. Why? Because I'm going to meet people that's gone through that, and I need to be able to say, man, I've been there, done that. If I can make it out that fucking bullshit, then you can make it out. I've been homeless, so I could talk to people that's been homeless. I could talk to people that's facing being homeless. Man, I've made it. You can make it. I've been broken and abandoned. I lost a loved one. I lost a wife. I understand your pain. I understand your loneliness. I understand your frustration. I'm here with you. I feel the pain. I've been there. But we don't have to stay there. I grew up without a mama in my life. I understand of not having that nurturing person in your life. that loving and compassionate person in your life. I understand that pain. And I often sometimes wonder, damn, how would my life be had I had my mama? I'll never know. But what I do know is, man, I'm glad I'm where I'm at. Why? Because I can speak to people experiences that are similar to mine. I can speak to people's hopelessness, people's helplessness. I can speak to that victim mentality. I can speak to that anger. I can speak to that trauma. I made a video a week or so ago. Jesus went out on the sea with the disciples, and a storm came up, and the boat was rocking real bad, waves all over the place, right? Everybody on the boat thought they were gonna drown, except for Jesus. Jesus' ass down in the bottom of the boat, knocked the fuck out, gone, gone. Everybody tripping, panicking. And Jesus comes out, peace, be still. Says 3 words, peace, be still. And the storm shut the fuck up. The waves went silent. And what God had shown me with those, Elijah, tell the people that they have that power. They can say, peace, be still over their life. They can say, peace, be still over my anger. Peace, be still over my victim mentality. Peace, be still over my brokenness. Peace, be still over the fact that my mama abandoned me, over the fact that my daddy rejected me, over the fact that this person broke my heart, this person cheated on me, this person left me, and then peace, be still. Over the suicidal thoughts, peace, be still. Over the depression and anxiety and fear, peace, be still. Peace. Be still. And the trick is, that's 2 commands. That's 2 commands. 2 commands. What am I saying? What am I saying? God is telling your mind, peace. He's telling you, shut the fuck up. Be still. Be still. That's so hard for us to do. It's so hard for us to sit still. It's so hard for us to shut our minds off. It's so hard for us not to just be ripping and running through the crazy imaginations of our mind. Running down memory lane. Peace. Be still. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know who you are. Be still and know that God is within you. Be still and understand everything is always working out for me. Peace, be still. Understand that all things work together for my good. So I don't have to be anxious. I don't have to be fearful. Because it's all good. And when my mind wants to go crazy, I gotta just, peace. Roll a fucking blunt. I ain't got to go and hit some lines. I ain't got to go run and chase some hoes to take my mind off my shit. I could just say, peace. Be still. Be still. And know who you are. Be still. And understand that it's all good. Peace, be still. Man, look for the lessons. See, the first thing we do when we go through something traumatic, first thing we go through when we're going through something difficult and challenging, man, we start complaining and woe is me, this is not fair, da da da, and why I'm being punished, and da da da, I'm cursed, da da da. We look at all the stupid shit. We get distracted with the bullshit, and God said, no, peace, be still. Sit the fuck down. Shut the fuck up. And understand why you're going through what you're going through. Learn to look for the silver lining. Learn to look for the lesson. Every time there's a storm, if you just sit there and wait for a little bit, there's always a silver lining that comes after the storm. There's always silver linings after the rainstorm. Why? Because that's God's way of showing, hey, the sun's coming out. You may not see it now. You may not feel the warmth and the energy from the sun. But there's a silver lining. The sun's still there. Just hold on. It's coming. It's coming. The storm is on its way out. The sun's coming back out. Peace. Be still. But you got to understand gratitude. Gratitude is the vehicle that gets us from being having that victim mentality, being angry and hurt and whoop, and being toxic and negative. Gratitude is the vehicle that takes us from this low vibration bullshit to this high frequency. Gratitude. That's our vehicle. That's our method of operation. That's our secret weapon. That's our power. Gratitude. Because we know, damn, I've been through a lot. I'm not minimizing it. I'm not dismissing it. But fuck the reality. It could have been a whole lot worse. It could have been a whole lot worse. But the truth is, I've been preserved. This piece of amber. I've been preserved. I've been kept. I've been groomed for this task. I've been groomed for this. And the trip is, for the longest time, I thought my daddy and the OGs was preparing me for life in the penitentiary. I thought they were preparing me and grooming me how to survive, and not just survive, but succeed, being locked up in a pen. And God said, no, not so. I was preparing you for your purpose. I was preparing you for your calling. I was preparing you for your anointing. I just had to take you through that school of evil, that school of hard knocks, because it molded you. See, the trip is, we all want a testimony, but we don't want to go through the test. We all want to be able to say, man, we're overcomers, and we'll do it, man, look at me, and da-da-da-da. But we don't want to have gone through the tests. We don't want to have gone through the trials, through the tribulations, through the pain, through the suffering, through the losses. Man, God's been working on your testimony. The first part of testimony is test. Test. Man. Wow. Family, I hope and pray that I've said something that's encouraged you, that's inspired you. Man, if you've never picked up a notebook and started a gratitude journal, if you picked up one and you put it down and you didn't do it for 30 days or continue to do it, man, family, go back and relook at that. Go back and pick it back up. Start all over. And you ain't got to just take my word for it. Man, get on YouTube and just put in gratitude journal. And look at all the other videos that so many people have put out, how gratitude journals have changed their lives. How gratitude journals have rewired their brain system. You ain't got to take my word for it. There's so many testimonies out there. about the power of a gratitude journal. It is essential for growth and development. It is essential for healing. It is essential being connected to God. We have to grow up. We have to stop acting like we got everything figured out and we know what to do. Because the truth is, if you knew what to do, you would have already resolved your issues. If you knew what to do, you would have already fixed your anger issues, your low self-esteem, your self-hatred, your unhealthy boundaries, and all the other stuff that you're dealing with. If you have everything figured out, you would have already resolved those things. But you don't have it all figured out. Man. Namaste. I wanted to wear this shirt for you guys. I want you guys to see this. Namaste. The God in me sees, recognizes, acknowledges, and cherishes the God in you. God's in you. Man. I love you, family. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the tribe. Thank you for your beautiful energy. Man. Again, if you need somebody to talk to, I know times are rough. I know so many of us are going through trying and difficult times. Man, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Send me an email, ElijahAmmi, ElijahAmmi @gmail.com. I'll get back with you and we'll set up an appointment and we'll set up a coaching session free of charge. Free of charge. Because it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about helping you reach your full potential. It's about helping you get beyond where you're at. Man. And then once you heal, you become responsible to pay it forward. You become responsible to become that beacon of hope and love, that role model, that mentor, that life coach for others. Every one of us have that responsibility. I love you. Thank you again for being here. Happy healing. Peace.